arabesque shape is a really pretty shape, no inversions required, but it's definitely a challenging shape to get into. So the fact that we don't have to invert to get into it, don't let that deceive you, okay? There's a lot of things going on. So let's talk about the positioning from the ground so you can kind of go through what needs to be happening in a less stressful position before you're up high on the pole, okay? So I'm gonna go from a pole sit. Once you get into the pole sit, you absolutely wanna be comfortable with that, making sure your hips are really tilted to the side in the pole sit, okay? From that pole sit, the inside arm is gonna thread through. It's up to you if this hand is up here, no hands, whichever. But the inside arm is gonna come through. Think reach and then pull back. So you feel this hold in your back shoulder, much like you would in like a leg hang, okay? The outside hand is gonna reach over your head, okay? So depending on your shoulder flexibility, for some people it might be easier to grab with this hand first. Don't reach too high. Think like just place your forearm on your shoulder, or I'm sorry, your shoulder, your head, that thing. Then grab with the thumb pointing down, then thread and come through. Okay, like I said, depending on shoulder flexibility, for some people, once they come here, it's really hard to find the pole. But if you grab while it's still in front of your head, you can then push through. Okay, so either variation works, whatever works best for you. Okay, now this is just the upper torso. I want to think about upper back. So really think like if there's a string coming from your center of your sternum here, think lift. In doing that, it's going to lock this in even more, plus give it a nicer shape. Head can be very upright on this side, or you can push your head to the side. I actually like the head to the side. I feel like it gives a nicer shape. It also gives you a little bit more grip, but personal preference, okay? If you like this shape here with the head up and kind of framed by your arm, or if you'd like to add a little bit more twist into it and take the head to the opposite side of the pole, you can kind of play around with both and see what works best for you, okay? So that's this half. Let's talk about this half. Your outside leg, which is going to be confusing, which is your outside because we're in a pole set, whichever leg is the same as your top hand, is going to end up to the front of the pole with this little divot in the back of your heel pushing into the pole, okay? So getting into that position can be a little tricky at times for some people because oftentimes they get stuck on their calf, okay? So depending on the size of your calves, depending on how firm of a grip you have or how comfortable you are with the transition, sometimes for people it's easier to slide the leg down with it bent and then straighten into it. Okay, but bottom line is once this leg is on the pole in that little Achilles, like as if you were doing a pole climb, you want to really think about engaging your glutes and your adductors. So I'm pushing back and across or in. So if I'm facing this way, this foot is pushing that way. Okay, and it's a lot of like, it's similar to like in a Cupid, how your bottom foot would be pushing into the pole. This one's that bottom heel. Okay, once that foot is in place, this inside hip, which was initially down here on your hip or kind of on your thigh, you're going to think about turning your chest away first and then leading with your hips. And at the same time, this back glute is going to engage. You're going to extend this leg back, and instead of the pole being kind of more up on your hip here, your goal is to push through so it's down to your outer thigh as much as possible. Okay, how far you get through is going to depend on how comfortable you are with the move, your flexibility, your comfort with it, everything together. Okay, and you're going to make it whatever shape works best for your body. Okay, remember pole moves, that's kind of one of the great things about them. It's all different body shapes and sizes. Move is going to look different on someone else, so make it your own. Okay, so let's look at getting into this. I would go like one climb up only because, especially in the beginning, you do lose a little elevation, and I find I can get deeper into the move if I let myself slide just a little bit. Okay, so just at least one climb up so that you're up into a pole sit. Okay. And I'm on spin just because I like spin. I like it so you can kind of see all the angles. It works on static, it works on spin. I do feel like this one, as you push into it, if you're comfortable with spin, the centripetal force can kind of help you lock it in a little bit more, but you don't need it. Okay, so definitely if you feel more comfortable on static, start on static. I think it's a beautiful shape on spin, but then again, I like a lot of things on spin. Okay, so we're gonna go single climb up into that pole sit. Okay, and I'm really leaning my chest to the side. Okay, now from here, you can have legs bent, you can have legs straight. Remember, if you're spinning, if you bend them, it's gonna make the pole speed up. My outside hand is gonna grab across with my thumb down. My inside arm is going to reach forward and then swim back. So I feel this hold. You can bend this arm if you want to, but it's not about locking, it's about squeezing in the back of your armpit. Okay, so initially both my legs are forward. Then my outside leg, same leg as my top arm, which in this case is my right, is going to lower, get my calf around so I can get my heel onto the pole. Once that heel is there, I'm going to engage this glute, turn my chest away, then push out. and then bring it back in. Okay, so getting that heel on, little tidbit. Much like going to an extended butterfly, the more you think about externally rotating that leg, the better hold you're gonna have, okay? If you keep your leg very linear this way, it's gonna be hard to hook your heel and you're gonna find you're just putting your ankle on the pole and it doesn't feel good. If instead you turn out and catch, you're gonna get a much firmer grip. For a lot of people, it's easier to find that turnout if they bend their leg and think about lifting their heel. Okay, or like in ballet terms, it's like an attitude, okay? So you'll get a much better grip. You can hold this on your calf, absolutely, okay, if you're struggling to get it to your ankle. I just find that you get more extension and have more options at the ankle, okay? But initially, if it feels more comfortable on the calf, and then as you get more comfortable, you can push through. Plus, keep in mind, if it's at my calf, that closes the distance here, and I'm gonna have a really hard time getting my butt through, okay? So if you are at your calf and you're struggling to get this hip through, it's just a matter of getting comfortable enough that you can take it down to your heel so that you're able to create a little bit more space, okay? Because with this crossbody, if you're squeezing here, it's gonna be a tight squeeze, okay? So pull sit, outside hand just above your head, inside arm swim and back, okay? Both legs initially are forward. Outside leg, same as your top hand, is going to come down. So the heel is pushing into the pole. Once that one is there, think about turning your chest away. Don't just think push through because you're going to get stuck, but think about turning out as you engage this back glute. You're really engaging your glute, A, to lift the leg, and B, I'm pushing my hips through, okay? And you're going to feel this lock and this lock. And then it is a bit on the shoulder, but it's really, the shoulder is more keeping you from coming off the pole. You actually, once your head is in, you can let go of that arm. Okay, so this is more of just helping you get into the initial position. Okay, so fun little arabesque shape. Try it on spin, try it on static, try it low, try it high, whichever. Questions, let me know. Have fun with this one.